Okay, so that last video was so tiring and so long and dragged out and almost just boring. Okay. Um, and which video was that? That was the Witchcraft and Darkness video that I just did. Can I talk to you all? So I wanted to come here and talk about. Oh gosh, it's early in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I still got my nightgown on. Let me take that out. Take this off. Uh, and put the daytime nightgown on or daytime gown. I change them. Because I'm going to be traveling tonight. No, we'll be traveling in the morning. I'll say tonight, but it's in the morning. But it flips for me. Daytime for me is nighttime, and nighttime is daytime for me. Don't ask me why, but that's the way it is. I travel in the daytime, and I definitely need to go a couple places tonight. Okay. I was looking at the moon. The moon is so different. It's not the same, family. That's not the same moon I have been traveling to. It's something different about it. It's always yellow most of the time. It's rarely white. That's a whole nother video, though. I'll talk about that on another occasion. But which is the reason why I came here is because I wanted to talk about, hoodoo in the South, and I know, most people, come here for that because they know that, I have grown up in the culture and everything, and I go way back in the culture. I even claim my adopted mother, adopted father, birth mother, and birth father's experience. My adopted parents were born like in the early 1900s, raised by parents that were born in the 1800s. One of them. I think the other ones were born like 1900 on the head of 1901. And I just wanted to talk about a little bit of their experience. Make this very brief. One in particular is, a lot of people look for as much information as they possibly can to, get stories about the old rural South, and that's when I come into play because my parents and stuff were raised in the rural South, and that's where I'm trying to get back to. I'm trying to go back home, and it's very difficult for me. I was raised in swampy areas. I was raised in the swamp and the swamps of Alabama, and I can't go back because I can't get the funds up. I wish they can't get the funds up. How about that? Well, anyways, I almost had it, but I had somebody a little bit more stronger than me. They had a little bit more. See, we may be powerful, but we as witches need to learn how to convert that energy, that powerful energy, into matrix energy. See, they are two different things. A lot of people say, well, why the witch can't get this and why they can't get that? A witch should be able to have anything they want, but that's the reason why the society has created this artificial matrix, because what that does is it cuts down on people who are truly gifted with magical powers, supernaturalisms. It keeps them from being able to manifest. It really is something that work against that, because at one time witches were in power, so they had to create this system to keep us from having the things that that we once had. We had land, we had riches, we had cows, goats, we had hogs, we had all of these things, and these things were taken away from witches. All of the land had been robbed away from us and stuff. So as long as they create this artificial energy, you understand, that they've created, you know, like this paper money, this false, you know, uh, this false I just can't come up with the word. I almost had it, Hmm. Paper money is so false. Dang, why can I can't even think of what they call that. Because it's backed by nothing. It's just paper. You know what I'm saying? It's only when you get into gold and precious, metals that you really have something tangible, you know. And we as witches were able to, use alchemy or conjure gold coins and stuff, believe it or not, you know. And I know you all saying, well, how come you can't do it now? It's because we're in a false matrix, okay? It was all created and designed so that these others can have all of the power and the wealth, and they can take it out of the hands of the witches, okay? Okay. And if I come up with the name of that, I'll tell you what it is. Paper is false currency. That's what it is. It's false. It's not even real. It's worthless. It's worthless. Okay. So so anyway, I said all of that to say this right here. I got an opportunity, family, to talk to my biological father. I don't want to tell y'all everything because it wasn't a good conversation. It wasn't. I enjoyed some of the stories. I've enjoyed some of the experiences and stuff that he relayed to me, and some of that was very difficult for me to listen to. I'm going to tell you about some of the things that were pleasant. He told me a lot, and a lot of people will find this interesting who are looking for, old Southern hoodoo, conjurism, or supernaturalism, whatever you want to call it. It may not even relate to that as far as you're concerned, because I'm not necessarily giving out a recipe. I just wanted to give you an idea of how he said, life was in those days. And he said that those days everybody was family. Everybody in the area that you lived in looked out for each other, took care of the sick, comforted the dying. There was no hospitals. You didn't go to doctors or anything like that. But I'm just, I talk to him every now and then, and I think, I want to talk to him a little bit more because he's aging and he's getting old and stuff. And dude was a Rolling Stone. I know my sister is watching. I have so many sisters watching. My adopted sister is watching. I know you are. Okay. And I know I have two other sisters that are biological, maternal sisters that are watching. So it's hard to kind of talk, because I've exposed myself a little bit too much and everything. But y'all bear with me, and it makes it so difficult. Oh my God, I hate they're watching me sometimes, It's hard because, they don't embrace what I do. One sister, my adopted sister, does, but she keeps her distance as far as she possibly can. But she says, sis, whatever floats your boat. But anyways, he would he when we talked, he told me how it was in the day when they didn't have money. You just did not have money. It was no currency. If you had a paper dollar or something like that, that was something to have. But mostly they bartered in the rural South. They bartered, and it was real. They traded eggs and bread and syrup. They did that old cane syrup from cane. And they would trade these items and stuff like that. Flour used to come in these little cloth bags. I don't know if you all know much about that. Y'all are young, and most of you all don't know much about, the South. But flour comes in paper bags now, but back in the day, they would come in these cloth bags. And with the cloth bag, they'll give you like you get a free um dish cloth or something to wash dishes with, and the women would take the cloth and if you had a red plaid cloth and she had a red plaid cloth and he had a red plaid cloth, you'll get them all together and you'll make clothes out of them, dresses and stuff like that. Y'all look that up. So y'all can know what those cloth bags used to look like. So you wouldn't throw the cloth bag away. You would keep it and recycle it and make clothes and or use it for scraps like sanitary napkins. That's because in those days, if you didn't have money, you couldn't go and purchase sanitary napkins like Kotex. Do they still do Kotex? Like Kotex and because Kotex was like the only sanitary napkin in those days. It came in a big old box with a white flower on it. Ugh, I hated that box. And so you would use that cloth. You just strip it down and you roll it and you'd make a sanitary a rag out of it. Now I'm going very way back in the South now. Now that was not true for me because Kotex was out when I was a young girl. So, but I'm talking about as you go further back to the time where I was born and stuff like that. But one thing that really intrigued me was when he told me who the doctor was. That okay, now Mary Bell actually delivered me a conjure woman, like they call them conjure women now. Back in those days, I don't. I'm gonna ask him what they called them. I don't think they called them conjure women or nothing like that. But I don't think they called them that. But now they will call them conjure women. But he said that they would come in and they'll deliver them babies. It was no babies were born foot first, shoulder first, and all kind of ways. The arm first, hand first, toe first, and those babies were delivered, and they were delivered safely. You know, and it was very few mortalities, even though they say that it was. But with them strong conjure women and stuff like that, they didn't lose too many mothers and babies because they knew what to do. Matter of fact, the service was better than the care, and the service was better than that you would have received in a hospital because you didn't get a cesarean section. That conjure woman gonna sit on your stomach and make that baby come up at you. That baby was gonna come out because they would sit on your stomach. So he was telling me about all of the different stories, and if you had if you had any kind of lacerations or tears or whatever, they sold that up. You gonna get sold up by that conjure woman. He said right after that, you would trade with her. Whatever that trade was would be determined by, what you would have to give, like sugar, eggs, once again, syrup, or just, valuables and stuff that you would have around. And right after she left, it may be like, that he told me that the doctor that actually, that the doctor would only come in and check the baby and sign off, and the doctor that came in, he said that came and signed off on our birth certificate was Dr. Walker. And he said Dr. Walker, when he showed up, he didn't show up in a car. He didn't walk to your house. He showed up on a bike, a 10-speed bike. He would ride to the houses and we would trade with Dr. Walker, an item of something, and he'd sign off the birth certificate. And that was his role, and he would listen to the baby's heartbeat. And that's when they discovered I had my at the time I didn't know it, but that's the time when my birth mother said I had a tiny hole. I had a hole in my heart, which is like very it's like it happens a lot, with the bloodline of my particular bloodline where I came from, because I'm from down there in Hayneville. So hello to all of my family in Haynesville, Alabama. You know, I got to call them names out. Otagoville or Otago. We can't get back there. That's where our land was taken. You know, the white man stole our land, and that's just the way that they describe it. You know, family members and stuff. Way back when they said white man. That's when Paul Willie whooped him so bad we had to flee to Selma, Alabama, because our land was taken from us. We had land right off the Alabama River, and a lot of that happened to, you know, Native Americans and black people. We had a lot taken from us, and now you can't even go back down there in the waters. Now you got to spend about 50,000 just to get a half an acre of land to even be anywhere near the Alabama River. That place is very popular now. Okay, but anyways, so I gotta finish naming them: Haynesville, Otagoville, Camden, Wilcox. Where else? Where else? Where else? Selma. All of those places are the places that my family, you know, came from. All my ancestors and stuff there. And like I said, you know, you can't even afford to go back down there anymore. But it was he. I asked him. I said, "Do you know, or do you like life better now or then?" He said, "Well, I may have more now," because he said we were dirt poor. He said, "I have more now, but you know," he said, "back in those days, those were better days." He said, "Black people were family to each other. Now, black people hate each other." Is what he says now. Man, some of the things I know. I hope no family members are watching this because, you know, I got to really talk about him a little bit. He had my oldest sister when he was 15. Yeah, 15 years old. And he fathered me when he was 19. hmm Yep. Yep. Now, when I heard that, I got weak. I got really weak just to hear that. And he was just talking about how they just didn't even have shoes. Do you hear me? They didn't have shoes. But anyway, I told you all, I kind of gave you an idea of what it was like. This is rural South, 1960s and everything. So we went way back on. And so I'm going to end this video here right now. Y'all know where to visit me at the Virtual Coven on Facebook, Spiritually Naima. And you know you got to subscribe, okay? Help me out.